I just took a leap of faith because I went from a full salary to a half a salary. And I was like, you know what? God has me. He's going to take care of me. I am doing my work for him, not just earning a salary to live and support my family, but a different type of salary that brings life to people. And so I said, okay, Lord, I'm going to do it. So we started working at the food pantry, and at the time, it was a part of the church. And so we started the New Vision Community Outreach Association, Fredericksburg.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Grow Healthy, Help People podcast, a podcast that Accordis puts on. We love talking to our nonprofit leaders and learning all about the amazing things they are doing around the community and the world to make it a better place and make a good change. So today we are here with Sophia from the New Vision Community Outreach Association. How are you today?
I am fine. How are you?
I'm so good. Tell us where you're calling from.
I am in Fredericksburg, Virginia, which is
Awesome.
about 1 hour from DC
Wow.
and 1 hour from Richmond, Virginia.
So you're close to all the things.
Yes, so right
Yes, you
in
could.
what considered central Virginia.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, before we get into all the great things that you guys are doing, because we have talked before and I'm so excited for you to share your story.
Yeah.
I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of what it was like growing up and what led you to leading this nonprofit. Was this something that wanted for a long time, or did you have a different path that you thought you were going to take? Tell us a little bit about how you got here.
Wow. Okay. So growing up, I wanted to be a lawyer.
Yeah,
That was my thing
that was the goal.
from. Yeah, it's like this is what I want to do. I want to study the law. I want to be
Yeah,
able to help people.
yeah,
And so that path kind of changed because I ended up being a teenage mom. And so I had my daughter when I was like 16 and a half or something like that. But I didn't let that stop me. I continued, I graduated high school. And because I had this child now, I had to get a job. So my mom told me, look, you want to be a mom, you're gonna have to take care of this child. And so I got a job and started working for the federal government when I was 17. And I stayed with them for 39 years until I retired in March of 2023. And so during that period, I met my husband that I've been married to now for 34 years, will be in August of this year. And we have three kids, three daughters, and three grandchildren. And so, how we got to the food pantry business, it all started when I was diagnosed with IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. And so I was always having this battle of not knowing what foods were safe to eat. And for anyone that deals with IBS, it causes anxiety and stress because you never know when something's going to go wrong. You can eat food one day and it'll be fine, and the next day you eat that same thing and your whole world is turned upside down. And so I just, going to the grocery store and started reading the labels and, what is safe, what is not safe. And then in 2007, I, at sleep, going to sleep, woke up in the middle of the night, and God said to me, Genesis 41:14. And so that passage basically says that Joseph had to change his clothes before he went before Pharaoh. And so, yeah, I read it. I'm like, okay, I'm changed. There's something that I need to change about myself. All right. And so a couple of weeks later, I come home from Bible study, turn my TV on, and there's an error code in the upper right hand corner, and it says 41:14. And I stand there, and I was like, no one is going to believe this. Like, I got to take a picture of this. And I'm like, okay, Lord, so what are you really trying to tell me? So I started studying the entire life of Joseph and the trials and everything that he went through to end up being a second in command and being able to provide food for the famine that was to come. And so through that journey, I learned that there were internal things that I needed to change about myself before I was prepared to do the work in the pantry. So a lot of the hard life lessons that I went through got me to a point to in 2023, I decided that, hey, I'm going to retire and I am going to work in the church food pantry. And so I just took a leap of faith because I went from a full salary to a half a salary. And I was like, you know what? God has me. He's going to take care of me. I am doing my work for him, not just earning a salary to live and support my family, but a different type of salary that brings life to people. And so I said, okay, Lord, I'm going to do it. So we started working at the food pantry, and at the time, it was a part of the church. And so I had a proposal to the pastors of New Vision Ministries, which is Pastor Aaron and Shante Anderson. I said, hey, why don't we start a separate nonprofit so that we can address food insecurity and have the opportunity to get more funding that way, since, it's not a direct part of the church. And so we started the New Vision Community Outreach Association, Fredericksburg. And so I've been working there since 2023. And you know what? I need to go back a minute. So I want to go in 2018. Let me start there. I started a nonprofit called Sustained Life because I wanted to address food insecurity, but not just that, but how food relates to the body, mind, and soul. And because oftentimes I see like we don't address faith when it comes to food, like we address faith with other things that are going on in our lives. But the word tells us that our bodies are the temple of God, and so that we should honor our body just as much as we honor other things that God has given us. And I personally don't feel that we don't really take that part serious enough. A lot of times we're quick to judge other people about, oh, this person drinks, this person smokes. But do we actually sit and think about what are we consuming? Oh, you could have a sugar addiction. That's no worse or less than alcohol, because it all does the same terrible things to your body. And so at that time, no one was really interested in what I wanted to do. I talked to different people, and I'm so excited, and they're like, "Oh, that's a great idea." So I kind of got discouraged. And so that is when I had the opportunity to work at the food pantry at the church. So I says, okay, at least I can now open the door, through the food pantry. And so, and all of that is God preparing me for what he has for me for the future. So we start the food pantry, and at first it was drive up. So we would have all the food sitting outside, and you'll drive up in your car and get it. And so what I saw was individuals coming to the pantry with the same box of food that we gave them the last week. And so, I had talked to the senior pastors and my husband, and I'm like, We can't do this way. We have to move to a client choice, and we have to offer them fresh fruits and vegetables, because while we are doing a good thing by providing the community food, we're not sustaining their lives. we're giving them processed, ultra processed foods for quick meals. And I personally didn't feel comfortable doing that. That if I'm going to do this work for God, I have to be able to give the people the very best that I can offer, the very best that I myself would give myself to eat. Like, I see no difference in between me and the homeless person or the person that's a single mom or a veteran. There are no difference. We're still God's people, and we're still should honor each other the best way that we can. And so, we've been working at the pantry. It's been 3 years now. We have a client choice where individuals come in and it's just like a supermarket, and they go around and pick the foods that they want. We have built a community where we know everyone individually. We're not just handing out, here, take this. I want to know. I want to know who you are. I want to know your family. I want to know what your dietary needs are. So if there's anything that we can do to help you, that's what we're here to do, not just hand you a bag of food. That is not what God has called us to do. And so, yeah, and so, we've been doing that. And I know one great thing that happened out of all of this is, the volunteers that come, the majority of them worship at the New Vision Ministries Church. And every now and then we get volunteers from the other community, from outside of the community, which makes this a very like awesomeness to be in, because they get to see us through the transformation that God has been working with us in and serving the community. And so one day, one of the patrons that come walked up to me and was like, "Hey, can you pray for us?" And I was like, "Well, okay." And, not, we're a nonprofit. We're not, based on any religion. We're here to serve everyone. And so I opened the invitation. I said, "Hey, if anyone would like prayer, please come into this room." And do you know that everyone that was standing in that line came in the room for prayer? And I'm talking all ethnicities, like everyone came in. And I prayed over everyone, and people were crying, and everyone were holding hands. And after the prayer, I had to take a moment for myself, because just to thank God for that opportunity, and, to see that our works, not just, us handing out food, but our participating in their lives, showing how God transforms lives. They were watching. And so we were, just planting little seeds everywhere, to where they're like, "Hey, like, these people are genuine. They see us with dignity. We are individuals. We're not just numbers. A person that's just coming in to get food." And ever since that day, every time the pantry is open, they all request prayer. And sometimes is individual prayers. And these people have become friends amongst themselves, and calling and checking on each other. See, that's the unique thing about when you're building community and you tear down those walls where everyone is the same, we're treating everyone with dignity and respect. You will see the goodness of God shine through. And so while we're, light bearers for these individuals, we are showing them that yes, there are good people in the world. And we don't have to show the label of Christianity. It is in our actions, it is in our works, what we do to show how God has transformed our lives. And so, right now we are really concentrating on getting fresh fruits and vegetables. And we pick up from the farmers market every second and fourth Saturday, and we introduce different fruits and vegetables that the average person wouldn't go in the grocery store and get. They would be like, "I'm not eating. I don't know what this is." Right. And so what we do is we provide them samples of different types of fruits and vegetables just to introduce them to something different, a different way to nurture your body instead of like the common fruits and vegetables that we eat, the apples, the orange, we do broccoli, green beans, corn, but there is so many different awesome vegetables out there that we can eat to just keep us well, that I feel like we have. It's not an option, it is something that I am called to do, to teach them that there is a better way for all of us. And so with the New Vision Community Outreach Association, we focused on food security, but not just that, but nutrition security too. Because a lot of people that let's talk about the SNAP benefits that have been cut. Um, I had a patron that says she gets $24 a month. In this economy, the what could I really buy with $24 in 1 month? Come on. Come on. That is why the work we do, it's so essential. It is why, we reach out to grantors and get donations, because it is time for us to take care of each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I love everything that you guys are doing. Like a couple things, I want to go back to when you started. You said that you left this job and you went somewhere else where you had to really trust God to do what he was calling you to do, because you were really taking a big jump. And I think so many times we are called to do something but we are so scared. And if God is calling you to do something, he is going to take care of it. He's going to provide. He's going to provide the
Yes.
will. He's going to provide the way. And it really just takes having that faith and taking that leap and letting God show you what he can do. And
Yeah.
if you do, you're going to see these incredible things happen. And I remember when I ran my nonprofit, so we focused on clothing insecurity. And I just
Mhm.
remember thinking sometimes, like, I'm not going to make it to the next day. I can't, I'm not, we're out of money. We're not going to be able to
Mhm.
afford these clothes. But literally every day he showed up, and every day, every single day. And I look back now, and it used to get to where I was like, I'm not worried about that. God's got this, because I saw it
Yeah.
over time. And so I think it's amazing that you took such a leap and such a jump. And I also think it's incredible that you are using this as a way to build such a strong community, because you're not just fixing a food issue, you're fixing a loneliness issue too.
Yeah.
And so many people are lonely, and
Yeah.
especially if they're lower income, they can't get out, they can't afford to do things, they're lonely.
Yeah.
And you're really helping them find that community and find that peace where they have other people,
Hmm.
and they have somewhere they can go where they trust that they're going to be loved and taken care of and not looked at differently because of whatever situation they're going through. And so I think what you've done, you've taken what God has shown you to do, and you have really brought it to such an amazing thing to serve your community in such a great way. um Another thing people used to say to me when I was giving out clothes or when they were donating clothes is beggars can't be choosers. And that got under my skin so much.
Hmm.
And so I love what you're doing here too, because you don't want to just give them whatever you can afford, or the most
Right.
affordable thing, the junk, whatever. You want to give them the best because that's what they deserve. They didn't ask to
Yeah.
be put in whatever situation they're in
Right.
most of the time. And so I think what you're doing is absolutely incredible. I just love it all.
Yeah.
And you're an incredible person.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what are your biggest challenges while you're doing this?
Really is funding.
Hmm.
Me and my husband self fund
Yeah.
a lot of the costs to the pantry.
Yeah.
And I will just go to the store and just buy stuff. And I haven't lacked for anything since I started this. And yes, it does affect my family too because the prices of everything. But it's so amazing that I wake up every morning and I can still do the same things I did when I was making six figures. And I just attribute that to following the path that God has me on. And that everything is not about just making the most money, but it's about making the most impact. It's about changing the lives of the people that you encounter. It is about loving them through hardship, through joy, through stress, anything that you're going through. I want the people in my community to know that New Vision Community Outreach Association, New Vision Ministries, Sustain Life, we are all here to make sure that when you wake up in the morning, you're feeling good. You can get some nutrient dense food to fuel you for the day so that you can work better, so that your kids can perform better in school, so that your elderly parents are mobile and they can get around. Like we this thing called life is not meant for us to work in individual silos. It is when we come together in a community is where we have the most powerful change. And I want Spotsylvania County, the county that I live in, city of Fredericksburg, part of Stafford County, Caroline County. I want when they see New Vision Community Outreach, they see family. These people are about changing lives and not just and I know I talked about this earlier with Sustain Life, my nonprofit that I am also working on now also because one thing I do need to mention is um church leaders. Okay. We're walking around with pre-diabetes, diabetes, high blood pressure. How effective are we really if we're not taking care of the temple that God gave us? So that is a missing piece of this puzzle too, is our faith community. There are things that we need to change also about ourselves so that we can be
Yeah.
more effective out in the community. And God has called me to do that too. Like I want the ministries to know that we have to honor our bodies so that that usher, that pastor, that minister, that lay member, that we can be fully effective and that we can shine the brightest light that we have that Jesus told us about, that light, so that we can impact everyone. And it's not for me just to say, I want individuals to be a Christian. I just want your heart transformed so that when you see that person on the side of the street, you don't hesitate to help them. That billionaire that has billions of dollars, I want you to know the awesomeness when you're helping someone else. When the volunteers, every new volunteer that comes to the pantry, after we're done and we clean up everything, the one thing they constantly say to me is, this felt amazing, because we are laughing together, we're smiling, we're hugging. Every single person that comes in that pantry, I try my best to give them a hug and tell them that I love them, because that may be the only hug or love that they see in a day or a month or a year. So, and we appreciate all the donations that we do get from the supermarkets that we have partnerships with. I from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate everything that Target does, that Giant, that Walmart, that Wegman does. But I'm calling you to do more. I am calling you to release as much fresh fruits and vegetables and nutrient dense foods that you can, so that we keep people out of the hospital, that you don't have so many doctor's appointments that you have to go to. I'm calling nutritionists that have time, come to our pantry and talk to the people, educate them, so that their lives can be sustained. One thing that always stays with me is Jesus said, "What did you do for the least of them? When I was hungry, did you feed me? Did you clothe me? Did you come and see me when I was in prison?" And prison can mean a lot of things, not necessarily behind a wall, the prison of the foods that you eat. Your mind can be in prison with the things that you went through as a child, financial prison, where you're just spending and spending and you don't know how to do better. That's what we're here to do. And I will spend the rest of my days on this earth helping as many people as I can to live longer, to eat well, to honor their bodies, and to take care of each other. We've we've become so, you know, separated with the age of social media and AI, and all of these things are great, but it has taken away from the focus of the family. And we want everything quick, microwave. I want it now, 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 now. But I just believe God is calling us to something higher and greater. And that starts with us showing love and kindness to people and being grateful in the good days and the bad days, and taking leaps of faith. Just say, "Hey, I'm going to do this." Um, and let me. There's one other story that I must share. Um, a couple of Februarys ago, there was a young lady at church that needed a Bible, and I went to Barnes and Noble to buy her a Bible. And so I'm in there and I'm looking through everything, and older white gentleman walked up to me and he said, "Can I ask you a question?" And I was like, "Sure." He said, "I had a dream last night that I had to come and buy a Bible." And I said, "Oh, okay." So I showed him, I said, "Hey, just go around this corner and all of the Bibles are up there." So I went and I sat down and I'm just sitting there. And then, God told me to get up and go talk to him. So I went around and I started, showing him the different versions of the Bible. He said to me, "I've never been to church. I only watch it online." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I helped him pick out the Bible and everything. And before he left, he looked at me and he said, "I've been waiting for you." And I just looked at him and I gave him a hug And I went in my car and I just cried my eyes out because, God has just been calling me. These are the things that I need you to do. And He keeps putting people in my path to assist me to really believe in myself that I can do this. Because although I am doing it, there are days where I get discouraged and I ask, like, God, is this really what you want me to do? And I know that it is because, because I retired as an investigator, I am a factual person. And so, me and God have this relationship where He knows that you just can't tell me something like, God, you got to give me some facts. So you got to show me because you know how I operate. And I just have this laugh, but He always comes through and sends me the right people in my path. Excuse me. So much so that in March, I think March or April, I was honored as one of 25 women in Central Virginia of influence. And I was honored that the pastors nominated me for that, and we went and celebrated. And I'm like, okay, God, you told me the doors, follow the path, and the doors will open. I was also the keynote speaker for our Fredericksburg Regional Food Bank this year, where I spoke on hunger has no face. And so, I am the association is getting more traction, and I am so grateful for it. But I want to make sure the doors stay open. I want to make sure, in my biggest dreams, I see a full supermarket, uh, you know, a supermarket like our giant supermarket or Walmart supermarket where people are just going through the aisles and getting their foods and they don't have to pay for anything. Like I envision that so much. um, Throughout the day, I'm just looking at this supermarket, and like there's a particular building in Fredericksburg that I've been looking at for 15 years, and every time I pass by it, I'm like, that's going to be my building. One day, that's going to be my building. It's sitting right there, and I believe that one day it is going to be my building where not only a supermarket, but you have nutritionists, you have financial people there, you have mental health counseling, you have exercise, just everything. It's like it'll be a one stop shop for complete wholeness
Mm,
where you can go without charge and just live your best life.
yeah, I love that
It-
so much.
And
I
I
love
know
that.
it's coming.
Yeah,
It's coming,
absolutely.
but we do need help to get there.
Yes, absolutely.
So, you
Absolutely.
know,
I hear you.
anyone,
Yes. Anyone.
anyone that sees this podcast, if it
Yes.
is in your heart
Yep.
to donate,
Yep.
please do because, there's something great that is happening
Yeah.
in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Yes.
Why not be a part of the greatness
Absolutely.
so that you can mirror what we're building here and build it across communities in the United States?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just community after community. Let us be a role model for what you can do for the good of everyone.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, I love it so much. I love it.
Yeah.
And guys, if you're watching this and you have that same struggle as a nonprofit leader, just raising those funds and trying to figure out how to get more people to see your vision and invest in the community and in what you're doing. That's something Accordis can help you with. We love helping our nonprofits. We do all back end work. We can do accounting, we can do social media, marketing, campaign strategies. We want to help you get your mission out there so that people can see the amazing work that is happening behind the scenes that they don't even know is happening, because there are so many organizations, and a lot of times people do not know why they are doing what they are doing, and we want to help you tell that why. And
Yeah.
so if you are interested in anything that Accordis has to offer, our website will be linked at the end of this show, and we
Okay.
would love to hear from you. Also, if you want to donate to the New Vision Community Outreach Association, we are going to have the website linked at the end of this show. We would love to have you guys go and support them, show them love, give to their community, to their program, to their 5, 10 year goals, to the
Yeah.
future supermarket, to the future whole wellness center. Big things are happening, and they can't happen without the support of the community. And that's where it's our job to step up and be selfless and
Yeah.
really put our faith into something that's changing the community around us. And so if you're not in the area, please go check out their website, donate. If you are in the area, reach out to them, because I'm sure they would love to have you as a volunteer. Yes.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. We
Yes.
always need volunteers, and a lot of the volunteers we have, they are committed all the time,
Yeah,
and so I would like to give them a break also,
absolutely.
where we
Absolutely.
can get new volunteers in, but also one thing that we ask every volunteer that comes is there anything that you think we can do better?
That's good.
Because through different lenses you see different things,
Absolutely.
and I want to make sure that we're serving people. And if you have an
Absolutely.
idea or anything that you think that we should do to better serve people, those are the things that I take back, to the board of directors and say, hey, maybe we should try to do it this way or,
Yes.
or that way. Because with the association, right now we're just addressing food insecurity,
Right.
but financial literacy and mental wellness, those all things go together,
Yeah, absolutely.
because food insecurity don't just start by itself. It was birthed by something else that was going on in your life. And so in that way, the association wants to address those issues. With Sustain Life, I want to address the deeper issues of aligning it with your faith and understanding your body as the temple of God, so that we can all be more effective out in the community. And like I said, not raging everyone, y'all be a Christian, without making the statement, be a Christian. You don't have to wear it up. Just do it. Just do it. Yeah. And
Absolutely.
that's what I would love to see, and pray that anyone that watches this video and is interested in helping in any way whatsoever, give me a call. It's newvisioncoa.org is our website. You can give me a call at 540 if you have an in-kind donation that you would just like to come and talk. Come. And one other thing we did, for 2 years in a row, we had a health summit, where we invited different health professionals to come out and talk to the community. And that was amazing. And so, due to funding, we kind of had to, slow down a little bit. But it is my goal for us to have another one in 2027. And this time it's going to be different. I can already see it. I envision it day after day. Oh, when I talk about community impact, it's coming.
Yes, that's
Oh, it's coming.
incredible. That's
Yeah,
incredible. I love that. I'm looking forward to seeing more about that. I think you're going to do amazing things, and I am excited about the future for you guys
yeah,
because you have the passion and you have the drive and you have the will, and so you have the
yeah,
way, and you will,
yeah,
between you and God, y'all are going to make some stuff happen, and I think
yeah,
that's incredible.
yeah,
I have loved talking to you today. I've loved learning
yeah.
your story. I'm so glad you shared your story and all the great things that your guys are doing and what your plans are. You're incredible. Thank you for everything that you guys
Thank
are
you.
and what you're
Yeah,
building. And yeah, I'm so glad you're able to do this.
thank you. I am too. I'm
Absolutely.
when you follow what God has told you to do, He will
Absolutely.
open doors.
Yes, absolutely.
And the fact that you sent the email in April and somehow I didn't see it
Yeah.
to now,
Yes.
that's all because we were supposed to talk when we were
Yes.
supposed to talk
Absolutely.
and not
Absolutely.
a minute sooner.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I am grateful. I am grateful for you for reaching out to us.
Absolutely.
I am grateful, and it is my prayer that your company, Accordis, is changed so many lives. That you're partnering with nonprofits are so successful
Thank
that
you.
you all are known across the globe too for
Well,
what you're
thank
doing,
you.
for
Yes, we appreciate
starting,
that.
reaching
Yes.
out to a small Fredericksburg, Virginia
Yeah.
place
Yeah. I
and
love
start
that.
a movement
I
across
love
the
that.
world.
I love that. Thank you
And
so
God
much.
God
We
is going to do
appreciate
it,
it.
and I know He will.
Absolutely. 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 Well, guys,
Right?
thank you so much for being on the podcast. Thank you for watching the podcast. And
Yes,
Sophia, it was a pleasure. And we will see you
yes. Thank you.
guys the next time. Bye bye,
All
guys.
right. Thank you. All right. Bye bye.